How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful day, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. So today I'm going to be showing you a Charmer's Stun profile, which is very similar to the One Bad Day deck profiles you've probably seen around. The difference between this version of One Bad Day and One Bad Day is obviously the Charmer package, which I think adds a more uniqueness to the deck, giving you more access to consistent draw power, as well as the ability to OTK easier. And, well, let's just get into the profile. So, for monsters, I'm running Iria, Wen, Hida, Asa, and 3 Fairy Tail Luna. For this deck, you don't really run a lot of monsters, mostly because you can search them, and also you only really need like 1 or 2. Not to mention, because your entire game plan is to slow your opponent down to your pace, there's not really a whole lot of need for the deck to combo off by using cards like the Nefarious engine, or the Dogmatica engine, or the Magistus engine. All of those engines are cool, but they don't really provide a whole lot as far as utility goes for the deck or power. It all kind of just ends on the same stuff. So why run all of that when you can just simplify the game state and slow it down to your pace instead? As far as the spells go, I'm running 3 Spirit Charmers, 3 Pot of Extravagance, please ignore my 1 of Common, 3 Time Tearing Morganite, 3 Pot of Duality, 3 Awakening of the Possessed, which this card is incredible, because not only does it buff all of your monsters by 300 per every attribute you control, but every time you summon a monster with 1850 original attack that is a spellcaster, you get to draw a card, and that's every turn. So on your turn, you draw a card, on your opponent's turn, you draw a card. It just adds a lot more needed consistency to the deck, as well as also giving your Charmer and Familiar Possessed monsters protection from destruction, which I think is really good. And then for the last of the spells, I'm running 1 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. This is kind of a flex spot. If you want to prepare for specifically Snake Eye, you can make this a Necro Valley instead, or you could run 3 Macrocosmos. I don't have Macrocosmos, and I can't find my Necro Valleys, so this is just my option at the moment, and it still works fine. In testing and also against some friends at locals, the deck performed really well. I don't think I dropped a game with the deck yet, and I'm maybe 4 matches in with it, and I do plan on taking this to a locals or a couple of locals here soon, most likely the day after I finish recording this video. For the traps, I'm running 3 Skill Drain, 3 Solemn Judgment, 3 Solemn Strike, which, if I had Iron Thunders, these would be replaced by Iron Thunders, 3 Dogmatica Punishment, 2 Possessed Partnerships. I've seen a lot of lists run 1 in the modern Yu-Gi-Oh landscape, and the reason that they do this is because it on its own is kind of a brick, especially if you don't have the 2 names or the 2 attributes to be able to get the effect to destroy. But the reason I'm running 2 is because there are a lot of times where you're gonna have a second Spirit Charmers, especially deep in a grind game, and your only targets are gonna be a monster and Awakening, which are just not great, especially if you're kind of relying on draws or Spirit Charmers to go off to be able to do more things. So that is why I'm running 2. I don't run the Unpossessed trap because I think it's bad in this list specifically, since you only run 4 names that you can really summon off of it. And then for the rest of my traps, I'm running 2 Crackdown and 1 Rivalry. I don't have my 3rd Crackdown, so if I had my 3rd Crackdown, I'd probably take out a Morganite and then run 3 Crackdown. And the Rivalry just fits so perfectly because you're only running Spellcasters. There's like a few extra deck cards that aren't Spellcasters, and it's just like, okay, well, Rivalry's up, so you just don't make them. You're probably controlling the board state anyway. As for the side deck, I'm running the usual, a Lina, a Hida, an Asa, an Area. Excuse me, did I say Hida earlier? I meant when. Excuse me. There's Hida. And then for punishment target, I run Bucephalus. And for sort of an OTK line, or a line that's just better while you're not under skill drain, I'm running an Abramax with Selene and Artemis. This combo is really nice. You can use Crackdown or 2 Charmers to make a Charmer, and then you can go Charmer effect, revive from your opponent's graveyard, go into Selene effect, revive from grave, and then you link off your Spellcaster for an Artemis to go into Avermax with, using the Selene and the Artemis. It's a pretty nice combo. I would just run the access code package though, it's better, you just kill easier. Avermax is kind of just win more. I understand that, so before anyone puts a comment down about that, I understand. I don't have an access code. You're gonna see a lot of cards. You're gonna hear me say that I don't have a lot of these cards, but the reason is just because this is sort of a deck I'm toying around with at the moment. It's not like my main deck or anything. Also running 1 Typhon. Your opponent goes into the extra deck pretty often for most matchups, and you might open Duality, or you might extrab this away, but it's like, if it comes up, it comes up. Then more punishment targets, I'm running a Garura to dump off the Bucephalus, and I'm running 3 Intis, as well as 1 Melong. And now that I've shown you guys my scuffed extra deck, I can go into the side deck, which is a little more put together. I'm running 3 Dimension Shifter, and before I forget, if anyone noticed I wasn't running a Dark in my extra deck, one of my friends is borrowing mine, so I just don't have it at the moment. You can easily find a spot to replace Dark with. It's not like you're fiending to nickel and dime your extra deck. Anyway, 3 Shifter. This is just for Snake Eye. It makes the matchup a lot easier, and I don't have Macrocosmos, so this is just next best thing. I'm running 2 Lightning Storm and a Feather Duster. This is just back row matchups, makes it easier. Also, some combo matchups like, let's say, Sword Soul, this makes those a little easier because you can get rid of the Bear Negate, and then you can use your stuff for more important things. 3 Evenly, this is also for back row. Your main struggle typically is against decks like Runic or like Labyrinth, where they can play under skill drain and they don't particularly care about skill drain, or they don't care about punishment. They could care about Crackdown depending, but they could also just chain stuff to kind of avoid it. 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance. This is self-explanatory. This is also kind of a flex spot because you don't really need it in this format. And then 3 Summon Limit. I think that this is mandatory in a side deck right now, specifically because of Snake Eye. If you flip Summon Limit on Snake Eye, they just pass turn. Because it's like, okay, I normal and then I special and I can't do anything else. Because I've summoned Witch, and I've summoned Ash, and now I'm locked under 2 summons. What do? I don't do anything. Pass. And then you just keep breaking apart their board every single turn with battle or very small effects that you can get rid of safely, like a Crackdown or something. So, very useful. Very useful. As far as combo stuff goes, I can actually show one of my favorite combos, which is just access to Morganite, access to Luna. This is like one of the better combos in the deck. It ends on double Luna with a possessed monster in hand, and you're getting 2 draws every single turn. But If you also pair that with something like Spirit Charmers, oh, you're popping off. Because not only are you going to Morganite, you're going to normal Luna, search for Luna, and then you're going to normal the second Luna, and then second Luna effect, add a possessed monster to your hand. From here you can Spirit Charmers discard the possessed monster that you searched to grab Partnerships and Awakening. Now, this is going to give you access to a few things, and you're not going to always open this hand. I mean, it's a 3-card combo, but it has been pretty consistent. You gotta remember, a lot of the cards in your deck are usually consistency cards. So you can go extra Av into 2 cards, which could be any of these, any of this stuff. Or you could go duality and then reveal like one of these and already have one in hand. Stuff like that. So you'd have 2 extra cards in your hand after this stuff has resolved. I just took out 3. You'll have 2 extra cards in your hand after all this is resolved. And what this does is on your opponent's turn, you have 2 Luna bounces, and you have a Partnerships to summon from grave. You get a pop, and you get a draw off of the Awakening. So I think that's pretty good, especially since on your draw phase you're going to be drawing 2 cards, and your card economy is going to be massive. You should have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in your hand by the start of your next turn. And I mean, granted, 2 of these cards could be extra traps that you're using, like a skill drain or a punishment or something, but 3 bounces with a pop and a draw and 2 draws every turn is incredible, especially for a deck that's really just sitting on skill drain or sitting on rivalry or whatever cool floodgate you can find. But yeah, that's the deck, everybody, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch the video. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe, leave a comment, helps me out. Who knows, could help you out. Could meet the love of your life in my comment section for some reason, who died. I'm just shooting the shit, but I'll see you guys later. Thanks again.